What is up, all moviegoers? TCT here again. Okay, this is how this is going to go. It is February 7th. This movie does not come out to February 14th, so instead of getting a copyright ban or any kind of ban on my YouTube page, I'm going to give you a quick little review, no spoilers, no anything, just what I thought of Alita Battle Angel, the movie. And let me tell you this. When I first saw the trailers for this, me and a couple friends saw it, we were like, this doesn't look too good. I don't know, it's a CGI fest, yada yada. I went to see this movie, had no idea James Cameron did the script. It was directed by Robert Rodriguez, who practically begged James Cameron to, finish this movie. Like, there was a little Q&A interview during this, at the screening I was in. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So this is James Cameron's script, and with Robert adding a couple things and directorial, stuff like that. And I'm sitting there watching this movie. I know nothing about Alita. I just noticed she's a anime character. They were showing some bits and pieces. Alamo shows the older things before the movie. They were showing bits and pieces. And the first thing I see is this man, this doctor, And, of course, we all know Alita is a cyborg. If you look at the trailers, you can tell she's a robot. I'm not going to say much more. James Cameron focused a lot on beauty in this movie rather than whether it was going to be a good anime movie, a good movie in general. He had the idea to make this very character driven and very story driven, because at the beginning of the film you're already invested in what you see. There's a part at the beginning of the film where it's like, God, this feels like Avatar, because it was done with the I can't remember what they called it in the interview. I think that it's called real face CGI. I think that's correct. It's real face CGI. It's the first time I've ever really seen it done this well. This was good CGI for a human being. It looked like a human being. It felt like a human being. But you could tell it was kind of cartoony. But they're getting there. We're getting to a point where they're not going to need actors much anymore. Everything's going to be computer generated. The set pieces look good. The CGI, yeah, you could tell most of the movie CGI, but that's the way the world fit, and it worked very well. This movie was very character driven. I loved it. I loved how character driven it was. The action sequences are great. The 3D moments were great. Like, the 3D didn't really pop out as much during a lot of the talking and the dialogue scenes, which I can always appreciate. But there's little things you kind of want to see from 3D. The action sequences were great in 3D. I'm going to tell you that. There's a couple things I wished it would have been a little bit more 3D of, but yeah, you got what you got in this. I can't really say much. I love this. This one was really interesting to me. This is one of those movies where I thought it was going to probably be bad, so I gave it a chance, and I am super happy. Thumbs up, I gave it a chance. I enjoyed this. I had a good time watching this. The theater I was in was packed, and everybody in there was laughing. They thought it was good. So anybody tells you this movie's bad, it's probably because they're a fan of the manga and they didn't do it right. But let me tell you this, the way Robert Rodriguez was talking about Jim Cameron's script, Jim Cameron, or James Cameron as we all know him, read it and did it his way. And the way that he did it was really good. I was deeply invested in this Alita character and the doctor and the boyfriend. I loved her action. Some of it felt a little rushed, yeah. Like, I wish they would have stretched it out a little bit more, but they stretched it out enough. It's enough to where you can bypass it, and you can watch it over and over again and realize how heartfelt this is. There's moments in there that you want to cry at. Of course, I didn't, because I've seen, sadder things, but there were women in there, and there was guys in there in front of me that they were, kind of sniffling during some things. They were tearing up, and I guess because they're fans of the show, of the original anime, and probably because they're seeing their dream come to life. It starts off really slow, but it starts off at a good slow. There's movies that start off at a slow, you're like, oh, it's dragging. This one didn't drag. Everything in this movie had a point. that it wanted to make, a place that it wanted to get to from here to here. I really enjoyed that. Like, I love how this script was connected. Everything connected in this script. There was things in this movie where one thing happened, led to this set of events, led to that set of events. Let me tell you something, guys, right now. Jennifer Connelly does not age. She is still beautiful as she was when she was in her early 20s doing the Hulk movie when I first saw her. She looks exactly the same. She was stunning in this movie. She didn't have a very big role, but the moment she was on the screen, she was beautiful, and I love people that, take care of themselves, actresses, especially from me watching in my childhood, because she was in the original Hulk movie that I saw, even though it wasn't that great of a Hulk movie. She was a good, I remember how she looked when she was young. She looks almost exactly like that now. I know there's ways they can keep themselves young, but God, man, it's really easy for actors now to still look how they looked when they were in their 20s. Believe me, she did good. I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy that was the bad guy in the Legend of Tarzan movie, the one with the mustache, he plays the doctor. And I have to look up the actor's name that played Alita, because I went in this thing completely blind. I didn't look nothing up, really. I want to know who she is, because she did a fantastic job. She did a really fantastic job, and I was highly impressed. And I think I'm going to give this, today instead of going to a 10, like a 10 out of 10 rating, I want to give this like an A+, B+, C+, D+. I'm going to give it I'm just going to give it a regular A, because if it's going to be an A+, I need a little more action in it. They had action in it, but I want a little bit more, action in it. The final battle and all that was good. There was an incredible bar scene, like a bar room, when she walks into a bar room. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want all of you guys to go and see this movie. This movie was good. It was anime come to life, in my opinion. Please, for the love of God, will somebody tell Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron to do a Dragon Ball Z movie? Or even another Dragon Ball movie. Somebody get these guys on board with Funimation, whoever the hell makes Dragon Ball these days, and get them into Dragon Ball. Heck, Naruto might be good. Make another Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know Netflix is supposed to come out with a series, but God, just give anime movies to these guys. They did a damn good job. They did a really good job, and I highly enjoyed it. I'm going to give this movie an A. For me, that's for me. I know people that'll probably give like a B-. Does this movie deserve a sequel? I want to see more. I know it's going to be a sequel because it is left open for one. I can say that. It's left open for a sequel. It ends very well. It ends right. It makes you want a sequel. That's how these movies work. And I was highly impressed with how James Cameron was able to keep his script level and not go down any and then back up. I like it. He just kept it level. It went up a little bit and then it come back down a little bit. He kept it almost completely level through the whole thing. Like I said, every moment led somewhere. And that's what I was highly impressed with. So, yeah, I'm going to give this an A. Alita Battle Angel. Go see it. February 14th everywhere. This was a pre-screening. Thank you, Alamo Drafthouse, for this. I had a blast watching this. This was a good movie. And I'm going to say that I enjoyed this movie. If there's people that didn't like this movie, I don't care. I enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was good, to me, because I know nothing about this character. And it makes me want to go look up the anime and watch the anime and see what it's all about. So I'm highly impressed. I like this movie. A for Alita Battle Angel.